Hello, welcome back to another video. This is going to be a cross I made for my partner's nun costume for Halloween. So started off, I got this little resin skull and just measuring the size of that because I want basically put that on the front of it. So I'm just measuring the skull now. I've got this foam floor tile. So I'm just transferring my measurements to there. This is all, it's not planned or anything, it's just as I go this is so. So I'm just transferring the measurements there. Still thinking as I'm doing it what size and etc. I want it. That drawn out, but I decided there to do it a bit smaller at the bottom. So that's there. Once I've done that, cut it out with a blade, sharp blade. This is getting a bit worn now, this is, so that's why it took a bit long. Putting the ruler there as a guide. Try and keep the blade at 90 degrees as possible. You get a better finish on the edge then. Just keep cutting it out. That's that done. What I want to do now, because I'm pouring epoxy resin in it, I want the sides be as I want the sides not stick to the foam, so I'm filling all the edge with the sellotape. I used a mixture of sellotape and packing tape on this, but you can probably get other tapes as well, but basically I don't want the resin stick to the foam. I did that all over it. Just flattening it down, make sure that it's all flat. Put some duct tape on the back just to hold it all in place. So I've got a piece of greaseproof paper now. I'm just taping that on the back. Then actually cut round the cross. And then retaped it there. So I've got a greaseproof bottom on the cross there. Right, what I'm doing now, I've got some fairy lights I want to put inside it. So I'm just testing them, make sure they're working. And then basically now I just want to put it all around the cross, so it covers it all. I'm just experimenting there, see where I want it, and that spent a bit of time really. And they were really flexible, so what I decided to put a layer of UV resin at the bottom. Bit of a waste really, but it was only a thin layer. Then what I can do then, I can stick me lights to it as I'm going. So just pouring the UV resin in. It didn't use much, it only used I think about 30 millilitres I think, so it wasn't that much really. But it just gave me a base then where I can stick my lights to. So just pouring that in all over. So I only need a thin layer. So make sure it's all covered. Just going over now with my heat gun. I'm just putting the UV light on now. Right, so once that was dried, and takes a couple of minutes for all that dry. Now I've got a hard clear base now. So just getting some resin, getting a plastic cup and some scales, and I'm mixing part A of my normal resin. Then whatever I used of part A, I used 50% of part B. So giving that a good stir now. I just put some in a separate cup and just mixing some gold glitter into that. Just giving that a good mix. And I got this little mould now. It's got a skeleton and some crossbones. So I'm just tipping half the mix into one skeleton, or one skull, and the other mix into there. I don't need two, I'm just doing the second one because I did a bit too much resin really on that. That's that done. Just put that aside now. Took at least a day to that set. Now back to the fairy lights now. I'm just placing them where I want them. And what I can do now, you just hold it down there and get a little bit more of the UV resin now. And just put my UV light on. It's about 30 seconds for this. And that means now I can place them anywhere now and not having them move about and that, because I can't have them too high because of the resin what's going on the top. So I just keep doing that all the way around until I'm happy with them. There might have been a better way of doing this, but I'm not sure. But that's it. Just repeat the process all the way around. And what I didn't show you there, I just cut the wire on the lights because I need to feed it through the back. So I wouldn't mind to get a smaller battery and battery holder, but this is just what I had on hand. And they're only about, I don't know, £1 these lights from Poundland, so pretty good really. That's it, got some more resin now, mixing some more glitter in. And this is for the main cross now. And just tipping that all over it. See where they're all flat now, so it won't be sticking through me resin. Just pouring that all in now. Which is why you need the tape on, so it doesn't stick to the sides. But you could have made a mould out of, rubber or silicone or something like that. But I've got nothing like that. That's it, just get over the heat gun. Just put that aside now for 24 hours. Right, now I'm just drilling a hole now. Be careful, don't go through any of the wire. That's it. I'm just feeding them 2 wires now through the back of the cross, because they'll need to be connected back up then to the battery and the switch. So just feeding that through. And that's it at the back there. What I'm doing now, just putting a bit of UV resin on there and putting the UV light on. That'll just seal the hole now. Right, so this is a day later now. The skull's dry. They're really good, that mould is. So just placing it on there. I wanted it blending as if it was a part of the cross, that's why I did the same colour. Just going over now with some clear epoxy resin. Just going over the heat gun. Just topping it up. Just placing the skull now in the centre of the cross. Just using that last bit of resin there. That's that done. Just got this red dye now. Just going over the top now. I wanted this because it isn't really dead red, it's transparent as well, see, so you'll still see the gold through the lights. I'm just mixed a bit in a cup and just putting some in the skull's eyes. I did put a tiny bit in the nose and all, but I forgot to show it. I said left that for another 24 hours. And that's it now. It isn't fully dry because I want to sort the edges out, but it is near enough. It is dry to handle. So I'm just removing the mould now, just cutting it round. I'm not going to use this again, so I wasn't bothered about saving it. And just peeling it off then. And the tape did its job. didn't stick to it, so I was happy with that. And that's that done. And now I'm just going around the edges now. I'm just making like a bit of a crooked effect on the edge, which isn't really dead square. So, and that's why I didn't leave it too long, because now I can actually cut it, see. So just making like look like a wavy, crooked effect there. What I'm doing now, just connecting the wires now back up to the battery pack and the switch. Just twisting them round each other. And just putting a bit of solder on now, just for joining them together. I didn't use any heat shrink on this or anything because it's going to be covered by the battery and sort of covered in glue, so. So they're the same on the other one. And just putting a bed of glue on the bottom there. Making sure them wires are separated, and they will be in glue anyway. That's it. And just putting the battery casing down. Left a bit of wire out there. That's it. Putting the batteries back in. Just checking they work. With the battery cover on. That's that done. Just drilling a hole now in the edge. Careful not going to any wires. And just putting this little hook in now. That's worth doing when you put the wire in earlier. Don't do it near the edge. Just got this black chain where I'm going to use. Just cut that to the desired length what I needed and just point it round that hook now. That's that. Then just squeezing that together now with a pair of pliers. And that's it, that's all done. I hope you enjoyed it. Pretty pleased with that really. I wouldn't have minded a smaller battery pack on the back, but I just used what I had really. But that's the only thing. But you can't see it anyway when it's hung around your neck and that. And any questions, please leave in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you like what you see, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.